In the near future, an unknown cosmic radiation affects Earth, triggering a drastic transformation. Some animals and plants undergo rapid evolution, turning into new species that humans come to call phantom beasts. Amid this era of change, Lai Wangxuan, an 18-year-old, works as a low-tier miner in a gold-tier phantom beast mine. He took this job to support his sick sister's treatment, sacrificing his dreams for her well-being. As he walks through the city, an announcement catches his attention. A program has invited one of the world's strongest S-rank phantom beast tamers, Miss Kelly, to share insights about the profession. Lai Wangxuan listens intently. This is a world where phantom beasts define power, and he is still at the bottom. Most phantom beasts require elemental ores to evolve, but some with special attributes can evolve through alternative means. During the interview, the host asks Kelly to elaborate on these special evolution methods. She explains that some phantom beasts can evolve by absorbing unique emotions instead of traditional resources. As the discussion continues, Lai Wangxuan listens in silence, deep in thought. Meanwhile, in daily life, phantom beasts have integrated into human society. Some have even replaced humans in jobs, taking on roles that were once exclusive to people. Those who cannot tame phantom beasts are forced into the lowest tier jobs like mining in phantom beast zones. Miners enter secret realms to extract elemental ores, essential for phantom beast evolution. Although these ores are valuable, the wages for miners remain extremely low, keeping them trapped in a harsh cycle. After work, Lai Wangxuan stops by a stall to buy some meat buns. He thinks about how phantom beasts are not only more efficient workers than humans, but are also preferred for many jobs. As he waits for his order, a familiar stall owner notices him and greets him, surprised that he arrived earlier than usual. Lai Wangxuan receives a free sample from Uncle Wang, who mentions a newly opened phantom beast-themed store. Grateful, Wangxuan thanks him before heading off. As he arrives at work, a few miners mock him, whispering about how he barely collects any ore yet still gets the same pay as them. They complain about his small stature and weak build. Before Wangxuan can respond, Uncle Wang steps in, scolding them for picking on someone younger. He reminds them that Wangxuan is only here because he needs to support his sick sister, and if not for that, he would have become a beast tamer already. Wangxuan, unwilling to argue, admits that his physical condition isn't great, but promises to work harder this time. Uncle Wang, however, dismisses his words, insisting that the real problem lies with the bullies, not him. Before the situation escalates further, Uncle Wang shifts the focus, asking if everyone is prepared to enter the secret realm for mining. A supervisor arrives, dressed sharply, exuding an intimidating aura. Without any patience for delays, he tells the miners that if they have no more complaints, they should enter the realm immediately. With a flick of his fingers, dark energy swirls around him, forming a massive portal. The gateway radiates a menacing glow, its energy pulsing as the miners prepare to step inside. The portal swirls ominously, its energy crackling as the miners step inside one by one. The supervisor watches silently, his piercing gaze following each worker as they enter. Lai Wangxuan adjusts his helmet, mentally preparing himself. He's determined to collect more ore this time, not wanting to give anyone another reason to mock him. Inside the secret realm, the atmosphere is suffocating. The ground is rough, the air thick with heat and dust. The miners gather near the entrance, discussing how to divide tasks for the day, sticking to their usual routines. Some miners suggest pairing Lai Wangxuan with Uncle Wang, sarcastically saying that since Wang looks after him so much, they should work together. Before Wangxuan can protest, Uncle Wang steps in, dismissing their remarks. He tells Wangxuan not to worry and that they'll just work in a different spot. As the mining begins, Wangxuan apologizes, feeling guilty for slowing Uncle Wang down. But Wang brushes it off, telling him to focus on working hard instead. Determined, Wangxuan grips his pickaxe and gets to work, pushing himself to prove that he's not just a burden. After an hour of intense labor, Lai Wangxuan is exhausted, his body aching from the relentless work. But he refuses to stop. He can't afford to disappoint Uncle Wang or prove the others right. Gritting his teeth, he pushes through the fatigue, determined to collect more ore. Suddenly, a terrified scream echoes through the cave, sending a chill down everyone's spine. Uncle Wang and Wangxuan freeze, their instincts on high alert. Looking around, Wangxuan's heart pounds as he asks what's happening. something is very wrong? A panicked miner rushes in, shouting that something has gone wrong. As they follow the source of the commotion, their worst fears are confirmed. A phantom beast has attacked, leaving a miner dead. The sight of blood and the monster's glowing red eyes sends chills down everyone's spine. Standing nearby, the supervisor watches in silence, with a suffocating aura as the beast growls. Wengshuan and Uncle Wang react in shock as the phantom beast goes berserk, brutally attacking a miner. The others panic, demanding the supervisor take action, but he simply watches with a cold expression. The miners urge someone to call for help, their fear growing as the beast's bloodlust intensifies. With a twisted grin, he releases his phantom beast, revealing his true intentions. The sinister energy surrounding him deepens as he declares that none of them will leave alive. The supervisor's phantom beast lunges, its crimson eyes glowing with murderous intent. The miners scatter in terror as the beast tears through them, its claws ripping apart everything in its path. Screams echo through the cavern as workers desperately flee, but the beast is too fast, leaving a trail of destruction. Wengshuan watches in horror, his mind racing. Suddenly, a memory resurfaces, a broadcast from Kelly, an expert tamer, explaining that some dark-type phantom beasts grow stronger by feeding on negative emotions like fear and despair. If this beast is one of them, escaping might not be enough. Wengshuan quickly realizes the trap. The more terrified they are, the stronger the nightmare wolf becomes. He shouts for everyone to stay together, warning that panic will only accelerate its evolution. The miners hesitate. If they act as one, they might have a chance to fight back. The supervisor smirks, acknowledging Wengshuan's intelligence. However, he mocking his efforts. He confirms that his dark-type nightmare wolf feeds on fear and despair, growing stronger as its victims suffer. With a sinister grin, he offers them a choice: die in terror and strengthen his beast, or accept their fate without struggle. The supervisor sneers, mocking the miners for listening to Wengshuan. He challenges them to fight his nightmare wolf, daring them to stop it before it tears them apart. But his twisted amusement doesn't end there. He offers them another choice: turn on each other. If they fight amongst themselves, their fear and desperation will fuel the wolf's evolution even faster. The miners hesitate, their expressions darkening as doubt creeps in. Some glare at each other, fists clenching. Wengshuan quickly realizes this is exactly what the supervisor wants for them to lose control and destroy themselves. He must act fast before panic takes over. As Wengshuan scans the situation, something catches his eye: a sinister tattoo on the supervisor's arm. It belongs to the Phantom Beast criminal organization Dark Shadow Hunters. This man isn't just a rogue tamer, he's part of a dangerous underground syndicate. Meanwhile, the supervisor smirks, giving them 5 seconds to decide: fight each other or die by his nightmare wolf. Wengshuan shouts for the miners to calm down, warning them that the supervisor is manipulating them. They can't let fear control them. For a moment, Wengshuan, overwhelmed by panic, reacts aggressively. He grits his teeth, frustration boiling over. He had told them to stay rational, but now they're playing right into the enemy's hands. Wengshuan turns sharply, his rage directed at the one who started it all. Wengshuan gasps in shock as Uncle Wang suddenly turns against him, grabbing him roughly. Desperation fills Wang's eyes as he pleads for his life, insisting he has a family to care for. He demands that Wengshuan sacrifice himself instead, saying that it's only fair. He's screaming that humans can't win against phantom beasts. If survival means choosing between them, then Wengshuan should die for his sake. Wengshuan clenches his fists. This wasn't just fear anymore, it was madness. Wengshuan, filled with anger, lashes out at Miner. The miner striking him hard with a pickaxe, sending him crashing to the ground. Blood spills as pain surges through his body. Wengshuan lies on the ground, struggling to regain his strength. Wengshuan, bruised and bloodied, glares at his attackers, cursing them in rage. The miner surrounds him. Suddenly, one of them undergoes a monstrous transformation, his body sprouting wolf-like features. Before Wengshuan can react, chaos erupts. One of the men strikes viciously, but instead of Wengshuan, he ends up injuring another miner. The supervisor watches, delighted by the growing tension. The negative emotions from the fight fuel a monstrous phantom beast, making it stronger. The aftermath is brutal: bodies are scattered, and the surviving miners struggle to catch their breath. Uncle Wang, among the injured, can hardly believe they are still alive. As they assess the situation, their attention turns to Wangchuan, lying motionless in a pool of blood. Wangchuan lies on the ground, barely breathing, his body covered in blood. Uncle Wang watches in silence. Without hesitation, he kicks Wangchuan's body, sending him tumbling toward the water's edge. Uncle Wang instructs the others to blame it on a mining accident. No one questions him. The miners finalize their cover story, ensuring they will all say the same thing before leaving the scene. Meanwhile, Wangchuan sinks deeper into the water, his consciousness slipping away. Despair washes over him as he questions if this is the end. A memory flashes his younger sister, smiling in her wheelchair, reminding him to return home early. The thought of leaving her alone fills him with dread. Determined, Wangchuan fights against death, clinging to the last shred of his will. He refuses to die not until he avenges himself and the one who betrayed him. As Wangchuan sinks deeper, an overwhelming force stirs in the darkness. Hatred, betrayal, and rage swirl around him. An entity watches his suffering. It sees potential this broken human can be used. The voice whispers through the abyss, offering power. A contract is made. Dark energy surges into Wangchuan's body, forcing an agonizing transformation. The water ripples still and silent, as if marking the end of Wangchuan. Then a hand bursts through the surface. Gasping for air, Wangchuan drags himself ashore, his body trembling. His eyes, once filled with helplessness, now hold a newfound determination. Catching his breath, Wangchuan scans his surroundings, realizing the attackers have already left. Dragging himself onto the rocky shore, he notices a small creature struggling nearby. Weak but determined, he reaches out. The pink creature coughs, drenched and exhausted. Then a shocking realization hits Wangchuan: his wounds are gone. His body, once battered and broken, is now completely healed. Wangchuan stares at the small strawberry cat, wondering if it was the one that saved him. But from what he knows, this creature shouldn't have healing abilities. Before he can think further, a holographic screen suddenly appears in front of him. Confused, he examines the glowing text, "Phantom Beast Evolution System activated." Another message appears, instructing him to form a contract with the strawberry cat. Becoming a phantom beast tamer was once an impossible dream for him. But now, could this be real? Wangchuan clenches his fists. If he wants revenge, he must become a phantom beast tamer. He locks eyes with the strawberry cat, still unsure why it's here. But the system's mission is clear: he must form a contract. Determined, he reaches out, his hand glowing with a faint light. Since this creature appeared in front of him, he won't waste the opportunity. It's time to claim his first phantom beast. The strawberry cat stirs, its body twitching slightly. As Wangchuan reaches out to form the contract, the creature suddenly springs to life, staring at him in confusion. Before he can react, the strawberry cat launches itself at him, aggressively hissing and attacking. The once harmless-looking creature takes on a combat-ready stance, exuding a strangely intimidating aura. Wangchuan quickly raises his hands, trying to explain, but before he can finish, the strawberry cat attacks. A powerful strike sends him flying, crashing hard against the ground. Dazed, he looks up in shock. The small creature now stands proudly, radiating confidence after its victory. Groaning, Wangchuan glares at the cat, frustrated. He never expected his first phantom beast to be so arrogant. Wangchuan braces himself as the strawberry cat prepares for another attack. Meanwhile, outside, the teleportation gate stirs. Wangchuan clutches the cat, standing within a vortex of swirling red energy. He remains cautious. Escaping alive isn't enough. He must stay hidden. Voices from outside confirm his fears. They've noticed the portal's disturbance. If they discover him now, it could be the end. Wangchuan crouches behind cover, watching as two miners approach the portal. They seem puzzled but dismiss the disturbance, assuming no one could have survived. Hidden, he listens to their conversation. They mention Wang Zhongguo, who had desperately tried to save his comrades but was stopped. The miners also talk about a missing beast tamer, confirming Wangchuan's suspicions. His enemies don't know he's alive yet. As they light cigarettes, Wangchuan remains still. Wangchuan realizes that 5 hours have passed since the collapse of the Abyss Mine, and by now, no one else should have survived. He grits his teeth, knowing that the disaster could have been avoided. If Wang Zhongguo hadn't abandoned the miners to save himself, so many lives wouldn't have been lost. Standing in the middle of a devastated city, smoke and fire fill the air. His eyes darken as he vows to make Wang Zhongguo pay for his actions. As he takes in the destruction, he snaps back to reality. The situation is chaotic. People are panicked, watching something in shock. A bystander rushes up to Wengshuan in a panic, telling him that his house is on fire. Another person reassures him that the fire department has been alerted, but then hesitates before asking about Xiao, his sister. Had she made it out safely? Wengshuan's mind goes blank for a moment before he bolts toward the burning building, shouting his sister's name. Someone tries to stop him, warning that the fire is too intense, but he ignores them. Clutching Strawberry Cat tightly in his arms, he charges into the smoke-filled structure. Wengshuan coughs through the thick smoke, calling out for Xiao as he desperately pounds on the burning door. Flames crackle around him, but he refuses to stop. He listens intently, heart racing. Then, a weak voice comes from inside. Xiao is still alive, but trapped. Hearing her faint coughs, Wengshuan's determination hardens. He reassures her, promising to get her out no matter what. Wengshuan frantically tries to unlock the door, his hands trembling as the heat intensifies around him. Xiao's weak cries from inside push him into a panic. He puts all his strength into it, but the lock won't budge. Frustration surges through him. His heart pounds as he realizes time is running out. With no other choice, he raises his fists and slams them against the door, determined to break through by force. Fueled by desperation, Wengshuan raises his weapon and smashes the door with all his strength. The impact splinters the wood, and he stumbles forward as the door finally gives way. He gasps for air, the heat overwhelming, but his focus remains on one thing: Xiao. As he looks around, his heart pounds. Something is wrong. Wengshuan's eyes widen as he follows the trail of blood. His hands tighten into fists as he rushes forward, kicking open another door. Panic overtakes him. He shouts her name, his voice raw, demanding an answer. Determined, he slams his foot against another obstacle, cursing the locked door standing between him and his sister. From behind the door, Xiao's weak voice tells Wengshuan to leave her behind, but Wengshuan refuses to accept it. Desperation takes over as he pounds against the door, pleading for help. He reminding everyone that his sister is only 13, too young to die like this. Just as all hope seems lost, Strawberry Cat reacts. A countdown begins: 3, 2, 1, and then, Strawberry Cat awakens. Strawberry Cat's body surges with energy. It dashes forward, tail whipping as a powerful aura radiates around it. Letting out a battle cry, it launches itself at the door, gathering all its strength into a single, devastating attack. The impact shakes the entire room, the locked door splintering apart under the force of its strike. With a thunderous impact, the door bursts open, revealing Xiao inside. Flames rage around her, their glow reflecting in her terrified eyes. Wengshuan rushes forward, relief flooding his face at the sight of his sister. But the danger isn't over yet. Strawberry Cat lets out a confident meow as Wengshuan takes in the burning room. His gaze locks onto Xiao's wheelchair, surrounded by flames, on the hunting ground as people excitedly discuss their recent captures. One brags about catching a fiery fox, while another boasts about getting an ice snow dog. Nearby, Wengshuan sits quietly, observing the excitement. Two young men chat about testing their luck for a wind-type beast today. Wengshuan, however, clenches his fist, his determination unwavering. He must find a powerful beast and become a true beast tamer. His sister's safety depends on it. 12 hours earlier, Wengshuan's younger sister, looking distressed, holds on to Strawberry Cat, who seems equally frustrated. His younger sister, looking worried, suggests calling the police. She clutches Strawberry Cat tightly, still shaken. But Wengshuan refuses. Reporting it won't help. His real enemy isn't just some troublemaker, but a beast tamer who won't stop until he's dead. If they know he's still alive, they'll come for him again. Clenching his fist, he reassures her. He won't let her face danger ever again. At the hunting grounds, a group of onlookers mocks Wengshuan. They can't believe he wasted a contract slot on Strawberry Cat, calling him an idiot. With only 2 slots available for beginner tamers, choosing such a weak creature seems absurd. Meanwhile, Wengshuan notices the summoned beasts around him seem unusually weak. He examines a firehorn bull, but its stats are shockingly low. He continues to observe the summoned beasts. The ice snow dog, though at a low level, has decent stats and clear strengths and weaknesses. Another girl happily holds her pet, a cute bunny, which also has solid attributes and a special trait that reduces damage. But when Wengshuan looks at Strawberry Cat, something doesn't add up. He starts to doubt, could the problem be with Strawberry Cat itself? Then, he checks its stats. The results shock him. Unlike the others, Strawberry Cat has no elemental attributes, and its stats seem weak. But its special traits are extraordinary: enhanced movement speed, attack speed, and even increased damage output. Each ability is far beyond what a typical beginner beast should have. Suddenly, a boy dashes out in terror, screaming for help. Behind him, a cloud of dust surges. The spectators are stunned. This area is meant for low-level beasts, so how could a Stage 2 beast appear here? Some onlookers quickly realize if they manage to catch this high-tier beast, it would give them a massive advantage as beginner tamers. Someone questions the boy, asking if he saw what kind of beast it was. Panting, he admits he only caught a glimpse of a blur. It was moving too fast. But based on the speed, he guesses it's a lightning cat, a Stage 2 beast. Upon hearing this, excitement surges through the crowd. A powerful beast like that is an opportunity no one wants to miss. The group charges forward, eager to claim it for themselves. Wengshuan watches the commotion from afar, uninterested in joining the chaotic hunt for the lightning cat. But soon, he makes up his mind. Standing up, he calls out to Strawberry Cat, ready to set off on their own hunt for a beast. Strawberry Cat, however, is more interested in its snack. It stares at Wengshuan with a confused expression before giving a half-hearted meow. Annoyed, Wengshuan watches as his supposed partner continues munching away, completely ignoring him. He grabs Strawberry Cat, lifting it up in frustration. "Stop eating, time to work," he scolds. But Strawberry Cat isn't having it. It yowls in protest, wiggling its stubby legs in defiance. Moments later, it escapes and dashes off into the distance. Wengshuan shouts after it, telling it not to run around. But it's already too late. Strawberry Cat has ventured deep into a dangerous area. Following after, Wengshuan arrives at a rocky canyon. Though this place is meant for low-tier beasts, it's still a dangerous mystical beast zone. Yet, there's Strawberry Cat, bouncing around like it owns the place. As Wengshuan follows Strawberry Cat, a faint glow surrounds him, and thin purple threads float in the air. He hesitates. What is this? Before he can react, the threads tighten, and a terrifying realization dawns on him. A candy spider appears from the shadows, he towering over him. Wengshuan barely has time to dodge before the monster lunges. He stumbles backward, scrambling to escape as the massive spider's web traps him inside. Wengshuan quickly assesses the candy spider's stats. It's a normally gentle creature, but right now, it's in a full rage. Something must have provoked it, but what? As he thinks back, he realizes he might have accidentally triggered something when he arrived. Turning around, he finds Strawberry Cat standing there, looking way too pleased with itself. It doesn't take long for Wengshuan to put the pieces together. Strawberry Cat is the reason the candy spider went berserk. Frustration builds as he processes the ridiculous situation. Meanwhile, Strawberry Cat acts completely innocent. The candy spider lunges toward Wengshuan, its sharp fangs ready to strike. But before he can react, Strawberry Cat suddenly charges forward. Wengshuan panics. How could a low-level creature like Strawberry Cat possibly take on a higher-tiered candy spider? It's completely outmatched. The spider doesn't hesitate. With its powerful attack, it fires a deadly web blast directly at Strawberry Cat. Strawberry Cat's reckless charge ends in disaster. It gets completely wrapped up in the candy spider's silk, dangling helplessly in mid-air. Wengshuan watches in disbelief. At this moment, he finally understands why no beast tamer ever chooses Strawberry Cat. Before the candy spider can finish its prey, a mysterious hand suddenly snatches it away. With no time to think, Wengshuan grabs Strawberry Cat and makes a break for it, barely dodging another attack. Dust and webbing fly as the enraged candy spider chases after them. Wengshuan runs for his life, but the enraged candy spider isn't giving up. It's gaining on him fast. The spider fires a powerful venom blast, aiming straight at him. With no other choice, Wengshuan makes a split-second dodge, leaping through the air just in time. He narrowly avoids the attack, but something catches his eye mid-air. Strawberry Cat, still completely wrapped up in webbing. Just when Wengshuan thinks they've escaped, a sudden attack comes from behind. A powerful energy slash cuts through the air, heading straight for them. Caught off guard, Wengshuan and Strawberry Cat are sent flying, plummeting off a cliff. As they fall, the candy spider watches from above, seemingly content that its enemies are no longer a threat. But before Wengshuan and Strawberry Cat hit the ground, a massive burst of blue energy erupts from below. Just as the candy spider watches its prey fall, a chilling force strikes it from behind. The spider screeches in shock as ice rapidly spreads across its body, freezing it solid within moments. A boy steps forward, silently observing the frozen beast. With an unreadable expression, he stares down at the now helpless spider. As he crashing onto the grassy ground below, he groans, barely conscious, his vision blurry as he slowly regains awareness. Holding his head, he winces in pain, relieved that he's still alive despite the impact. As he tries to collect himself, a sudden noise catches his attention. He turns confused, only to find Strawberry Cat. Wangchuan hurriedly picks up Strawberry Cat, apologizing for earlier. He checks on it, but the creature remains silent. Holding it in his arms, Wangchuan looks around, realizing they have fallen to the bottom of a valley in the western forest. As the sun begins to set, distant bird cries echo through the sky. Suddenly, Strawberry Cat leaps out of Wangchuan's arms, aggressively pouncing on an creature. With a powerful slap, it knocks the animal aside, causing it to cry out in shock. Wangchuan observes the defeated creature, recognizing it as a normally gentle species. However, something feels off. Why have all the beasts he encountered today been so aggressive? Strawberry Cat, who stands confidently, looking proud of its actions. Wangchuan wonders if the creature is just naturally hostile, but seeing its smug attitude, he can't help but feel irritated. Suddenly, he notices something strange about the fallen beast. As he steps closer, its condition worsens. A virtual interface appears, diagnosing it as being in a berserk and abnormal state. Wangchuan's expression hardens. If it's not just the creatures acting weird, then something about this valley itself is unnatural. Wangchuan, realizing the valley is unsafe, decides they need to leave before something happens to Strawberry Cat as well. Determined, he calls out to it, pointing toward a possible exit. However, instead of cooperating, Strawberry Cat simply turns away with an uninterested expression. Wangchuan's patience wears thin. Was this creature always this stubborn? As he tries to reason with it, Strawberry Cat suddenly dashes off in the opposite direction. Frustrated, Wangchuan yells after it, warning of the dangers around them. But the creature pays no attention, running deeper. He suddenly notices something unusual through the trees, a wooden house standing deep within the valley. Surprised, he stops and stares at the structure. A windmill spins gently on its roof, and the warm glow of sunset reflects off its wooden walls. Shocked, he questions how a human-made building could exist in such a remote and dangerous place. Turning to Strawberry Cat, he wonders if it led him here intentionally. The Strawberry Cat simply meows in response. As Wangchuan approaches the house, an eerie windmill creaks above, spinning slowly. He hesitates, sensing something unusual in the air. Red mist drifts around him, unsettling him further. Before he can process it, a sudden distortion warps his surroundings. The house flickers, dark symbols appearing all over its walls. Then, a terrifying noise echoes from within the house, deep, distorted, and unnatural. His heart pounds as he instinctively takes a step back. Strawberry Cat turns to Wangchuan, meowing as if instructing him to enter the house. After a brief pause, he sighs and picks up a sturdy branch from the ground just in case. With cautious steps, he follows the Strawberry Cat inside. The moment the door opens, a heavy, eerie atmosphere fills the air. Wangchuan covers his nose, grimacing. Whatever was in this house, it definitely wasn't normal. Wangchuan cautiously steps further into the dimly lit room, his pulse quickening. The unsettling glow reveals rows of metal cages, their iron bars rusted and stained. His breath catches as he realizes this place isn't just abandoned, it was used for something sinister. A faint whimper echoes from one of the cages. Turning towards the sound, he spots a trembling creature curled up inside. His eyes widen in shock. It's an Arctic hound, but its body is covered in wounds. Wangchuan turns to Strawberry Cat, asking if it can break the cage lock. Without hesitation, the creature leaps forward, slamming its paw against the metal with surprising force. The lock shatters instantly, sending broken pieces flying. Without wasting time, Wangchuan kneels beside the Arctic hound, carefully placing a hand on its weakened body. He asks if it's okay, his voice filled with concern. The creature weakly whimpers in response, barely able to move. Just then, a display appears, listing the Arctic hound's status: severely injured, malnourished, and on the brink of collapse. Wangchuan's expression hardens. Who could have done something so cruel? Wangchuan pulls out a small vial of healing potion, the lowest grade he has. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. Hoping it will help, he carefully opens the bottle. The Arctic hound flinches, its body trembling in fear. Wangchuan quickly reassures it, speaking gently to calm it down. Slowly, he tilts the potion toward its mouth, urging it to drink. A faint glow surrounds the creature as the potion takes effect. Its ragged breathing stabilizes slightly, though it's still weak. Looking around, he realizes this isn't just about one creature. Every beast here has been horribly mistreated. Wangchuan's expression darkens as supervisor flashes through his mind. Before he can dwell further, the Arctic hound stirs. With effort, it pushes itself up, standing shakily on its feet. The creature barks urgently, tugging at his clothes before dashing toward the door. It wants to show him something. There, hidden in the grass, a wooden hatch lies slightly ajar. Wangchuan follows the Arctic hound to the wooden hatch, which appears to lead underground. As he lifts the hatch, a foul stench rises from below. This smell is even worse than inside the house. Without a doubt, this place was being used as a secret laboratory. Gripping his flashlight, Wangchuan descends the stairs cautiously, with Strawberry Cat leading the way. The underground chamber is vast, its walls lined with strange markings and old machinery. He glances around, puzzled. As Strawberry Cat steps forward, a chilling presence emerges from the darkness. Glowing red eyes pierce through the shadows, locking onto. Before Wangchuan can react, a beast lunges, its massive jaws lined with razor-sharp teeth. Acting on instinct, Wangchuan dives forward, grabbing Strawberry Cat and shielding it just in time. Breathing heavily, Wangchuan glances back at the beast. Drool drips from the beast's jagged teeth as it looms over them. A blood-fang hunting hound, a vicious predator known for its relentless attacks. Wangchuan tensed up as the beast, the bloodthirsty hunting dog. The creature's glowing red eyes and menacing aura signaled danger, forcing him to stay on guard while clutching Strawberry Cat tightly. A system-like interface appeared, detailing the beast's attributes. It was a fire type with high strength and agility, capable of causing heavy wounds, bleeding, and poisoning. Though powerful, it had a weakness to ice. Its traits included increased attack power at the cost of taking more damage and the ability to heal itself by absorbing a portion of inflicted damage. As he observed the beast closely, Wangchuan suddenly noticed a metal collar around its neck. Realizing it was restrained, he began to wonder if this creature had been captured and left here rather than roaming freely. His small pet suddenly leaped forward without hesitation, rushing straight toward the much larger creature. Wangchuan panicked, trying to stop it, worried that it was heading toward certain death. However, instead of hostility, the small beast approached the bloodthirsty hunting dog fearlessly, standing right in front of it. The massive creature, instead of attacking, simply observed the smaller one in silence. Wangchuan was stunned. He couldn't understand what was happening. Why wasn't the powerful beast acting aggressively? The small beast barked excitedly, wagging its tail as if trying to communicate. Wangchuan, still in disbelief, questioned what this meant. Wangchuan hesitated as he observed the situation. Strawberry Cat, sitting calmly beside him, seemed unimpressed, letting out a small sound as if to dismiss his concern. The small beast in front of the bloodthirsty hunting dog appeared to be calling him over. Wangchuan cautiously considered if he was going to approach. He needed some assurance that the larger beast wouldn't attack. The small beast barked confidently at the towering creature, as if attempting to communicate. The bloodthirsty hunting dog responded with a low growl, but it didn't seem aggressive. Wangchuan took a cautious step forward, his attention drawn to an old wooden table. Something about it seemed off, and as he got closer, he noticed a thick, worn-out book resting on its surface. Flipping through the pages, he discovered details. The first entry described the capture of 2 Arctic hounds, one of which was a female named Lucky. The researchers seemed excited about their new test subjects, treating them as nothing more than tools for experimentation. As he continued reading, another entry stood out. It documented an event on the 9th day. One of the Arctic hounds had shown aggressive behavior after being forced to consume the flesh of other creatures. The researchers noted their anticipation of its transformation. By the 15th day, one of the Arctic hounds had developed heightened aggression, showing a drastic increase in power. The researchers seemed pleased, noting that it was finally displaying the kind of monstrous rage they had hoped for. By the 20th day, the reports described something even more horrifying. The smaller Arctic hound had undergone unexpected changes. The researchers decided to push the experiment further, making it consume the flesh of the bloodthirsty hunting dog and even forcing it to eat parts of its own kind. They were eager to see if this would trigger an unnatural transformation. He clenched his fists, his expression darkening as he struggled to comprehend the cruelty of those responsible. Turning toward the bloodthirsty hunting dog and the small Arctic hound, he made his decision. No matter what, he was going to free them from this place. With firm resolve, he reassured them that he would get them out of here. He quickly came up with a plan. He instructed Strawberry Cat to break the chains while he worked on dismantling the collar restraining the bloodthirsty hunting dog. Without hesitation, Strawberry Cat grabbed a hammer. With a fierce strike, the chains shattered under the force of Strawberry Cat's attack. He watched in surprise. Was it just his imagination, or was Strawberry Cat actually following orders for once? Shaking off his thoughts, he turned back to the bloodthirsty hunting dog, focusing on unlocking the collar. Right now, freeing the beast was the priority. Wangchuan put all his strength into breaking the restraints, climbing on top of the bloodthirsty hunting dog to pull the collar loose. With one final effort, the lock snapped open, and the heavy metal restraint fell to the ground. As the last chain dropped, the once trapped beast took its first steps in freedom. Wangchuan collapsed to the ground, exhausted but relieved. He couldn't help but remark that years of mining work had built his endurance, otherwise, this would have been impossible. The small Arctic hound barked excitedly, urging him to hurry. Wangchuan chuckled, reassuring it that he just needed a moment to rest before rescuing its mother. Wangchuan prepared to remove the final chain restraining the bloodthirsty hunting dog. Just as he reached for it, the beast suddenly lunged at him with immense force. Caught off guard, he barely had time to react before being pinned down. Shocked, he shouted in confusion, demanding to know what it was doing. Before he could struggle free, distant noises echoed through the chamber. His instincts sharpened. Someone else was approaching. Could it be the people responsible for this cruel experiment? Wangchuan quickly took control of the situation, instructing Strawberry Cat to hide while they assessed the approaching threat. The bloodthirsty hunting dog, understanding the urgency, wrapped its broken chains around itself to maintain the illusion of still being restrained. Just as they finished preparing, a man suddenly stumbled down the stairs. Wangchuan's gaze locked onto the man, who was clearly terrified. The intruder fell to the ground, panicked and begging for his life. He swore that he wouldn't reveal anything, desperately pleading for mercy. Wangchuan recognized the man entering the room. He was the same beast tamer he had encountered at the entrance of the secret forest. The terrified intruder backed away as Wangchuan stepped forward, his presence alone enough to intimidate. Before he could press for answers, another man appeared carrying the small Arctic hound by its scruff. He reassured them that he wasn't interested in harming humans, only in breaking beasts. Wangchuan's mind raced. This was the same person rumored to control second-tier phantom beasts in the forest. Could it be that this entire lab belonged to him? If so, things were about to get much more complicated. The man smirked, revealing that the sudden aggression of the Arctic hound wasn't natural, it was his doing. He had spread a special blood rose pollen throughout the secret forest, causing all phantom beasts to enter a berserk state and turn against each other. Wangchuan finally understood the source of the mysterious red mist he had noticed earlier. This man had deliberately turned the beasts against one another. The man pointed his gun at the terrified intruder, telling him it was time to die. The man pleaded desperately, swearing he wouldn't expose anything and even warning that if he disappeared, the church would come investigating. The man screamed in desperation, but the gunshot rang out, cutting him off. Blood splattered as Wangchuan's eyes darkened. Another life lost in this twisted place. The man smirked, as if this was nothing more than routine. With a twisted grin, the man mocked them, saying they were now part of his beast training experiment. Holding the trembling creature in his arms, he knew he couldn't fight recklessly. This was no ordinary opponent. He needed reinforcements. Wangchuan quickly formulated a plan. He told the bloodthirsty hunting dog that he would take its child to safety and return with reinforcements. But in order for this to work, he needed the beast to create a distraction and draw the man's attention. The bloodthirsty hunting dog's eyes burned with fury. It had been held captive, tortured, and used as an experiment for too long. With a menacing growl, it lunged forward, its broken chains rattling as it faced the man head-on. The man, unfazed, taunted the beast, mocking its aggression and acting as though it was just another toy for him to break. But this time, the bloodthirsty hunting dog wasn't going to be controlled. The man sneered, mocking the bloodthirsty hunting dog's sudden burst of energy. He wondered aloud if it was because the beast was enraged after witnessing a human's death. Meanwhile, Wangchuan took advantage of the distraction, carrying the small Arctic hound and moving towards the exit. But just as he turned the corner, an unexpected sight stopped him in his tracks. An entire passageway was now encased in ice. He reached out, touching the frozen wall in disbelief. Why was there an ice barrier blocking the escape route? Hovering in the air was an ice-type second-tier phantom beast, an ice demon moth. Realization struck Wangchuan. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a guardian beast, stationed here to prevent anyone from escaping. The man smirked as he spotted Wangchuan, calling him a little rat trying to escape. Without hesitation, he commanded the ice demon moth to freeze Wangchuan's legs. Reacting instantly, the moth launched a sharp ice spike toward Wangchuan and Strawberry Cat. Before he could escape, ice crept up his legs, locking him in place. Wangchuan gritted his teeth. His movements were now restricted. The man stands frozen as the massive bloodthirsty red dog snarls before him. Shocked, he wonders how this terrifying beast was released. Man notices a broken collar on the ground. He yells at the group in panic, blaming someone for removing the restraint and warning that the unleashed beast could kill them all. But Wangchuan holding his pet, Extreme Ice Dog. He tells the others that it's not certain yet, this might be their chance for revenge. Bloodthirsty dog roars and charges forward, eyes glowing with savage rage. Man commands Ice Demonic Flower to intercept the beast, unleashing a chilling attack. The creature resists the assault and charges straight through. Frustrated, Man realizes the attack failed and calls it useless as he quickly retreats. Wangchuan holds the fading Extreme Ice Dog in his arms, realizing its power and the Ice Demonic Flower's consciousness are vanishing. Man shouts for backup, ordering all summoned beasts to attack the bloodthirsty dog. Multiple creatures charge forward, leaping into battle with fierce determination. One of the beasts lands a solid blow, striking the red dog with full force. Bloodthirsty dog launches a brutal attack, striking one of the beasts mid-air with a powerful blow. Two summoned monsters, a serpent and a red beast, prepare to counter, but hesitate under pressure. Man angrily threatens them, demanding they fight or face worse consequences. Pushed by fear, both creatures finally charge toward the bloodthirsty dog with fierce determination. The summoned beasts launch a desperate attack, landing blows on the bloodthirsty dog but failing to slow it down. Man thinking they only need to distract the beast for a while before he makes his next move. Wangchuan tries to stop him from escaping as he runs off, while Strawberry Cat and the weakened Extreme Ice Dog chase after him. With fierce determination, Strawberry Cat dashes forward. Strawberry Cat leaps and slams into Man's chest, knocking him down with a direct hit. Man grits his teeth in pain as Strawberry Cat stands smugly beside him, proud of the attack. Wangchuan confronts the man, warning him not to run after everything he's done. Man awkwardly laughs it off, claiming he never intended to run in the first place, and put his hand onto a button. Wangchuan panics as he sees Man activate something dangerous and urgently shouts to stop him. But Man smirks and presses a switch, yelling that they're the real fools who should be running. A burst of red smoke erupts, surrounding Wangchuan as he realizes its true nature too late. Just then, Extreme Ice Dog opens its glowing eyes. Wangchuan is stunned as he realizes the red smoke will drive all ghost beasts into a frenzy. Bloodthirsty Dog roars wildly, already affected, and violently strikes the other summoned creatures. He grabs Man by the collar, furious that his reckless action could doom everyone, including himself. But Man mocks him with a smirk, claiming he's not foolish enough to die like the rest. He is suddenly thrown back by sharp spikes as Man activates a hidden trap. Man yells with confidence, claiming only they will die here while calling them fools. Bloodthirsty Dog, now fully affected by the red smoke, goes berserk and lashes out violently. Wangchuan realizes too late that the beast has entered a deadly frenzy and becomes alarmed. He grabs Strawberry Cat and Extreme Ice Dog, determined to escape before they also lose control from the red smoke. As he sprints away, a beast lunges from the side, nearly cutting off his path. Wangchuan manages to dodge and leap over icy terrain, landing safely but still on edge. Behind him, the Ice Demonic Flower stirs weakly. Wangchuan is shocked to realize it's still alive. Bloodthirsty Dog roars and charges straight at creatures. Wangchuan, who clutches Strawberry Cat and Extreme Ice Dog tightly in fear. He braces for impact as the beast closes in fast. Extreme Ice Dog suddenly lets out a determined bark. The red beast locks eyes with it. Bloodthirsty Dog suddenly halts its attack, frozen in place as icy energy surrounds it. Hen holds Extreme Ice Dog and wonders if the beast somehow recognized him as its son, despite the madness from the red pollen. As Wengshuan calls out, Strawberry Cat leaps forward with fierce resolve to protect them. With a determined glare, Strawberry Cat charges into battle. Strawberry Cat unleashes its ultimate move, the absolute void god of war, Meow Meow Fist. A massive golden energy beam shoots upward, shaking the entire structure. The impact smashes through rock and metal, sending shockwaves through the area. Outside the building, the force erupts in a violent explosion, blowing apart the rooftop. The building explodes from the impact of Strawberry Cat's ultimate attack, sending flames soaring. Man stares in disbelief, trembling as he realizes the power of the Meow Meow Fist. Wengshuan steps forward through the smoke, declaring it's finally Man's turn to face justice. Terrified, Man begs for forgiveness, admitting his mistakes and promising never to repeat them. Man desperately offers all his ghost beasts, begging Wengshuan to spare his life just this once. But Wengshuan coldly questions him, reminding him how the beast tamers and ghost beasts he killed also begged for mercy. Wengshuan's expression darkens as he demands to know how Man responded to their pleas. Trembling, Man is speechless as Wengshuan steps forward, shrouded in a menacing red aura. Man panics and threatens Wengshuan, saying that killing him would lead to arrest and imprisonment. Wengshuan calmly agrees, acknowledging the risk without fear. With a cold expression, he states that in such dangerous territory, it's only natural for a few beast tamers to die. Man trembles, barely able to speak. Man tries to resist, shouting in anger. Wengshuan coldly gives the command, and Bloodthirsty Dog growls. The beast lunges forward, ending Man's fate as Wengshuan watches in silence. Afterward, Wengshuan turns to Strawberry Cat, calmly saying it's time to leave. Bloodthirsty Dog growls faintly as Wengshuan stands calmly beside it. Confused, Wengshuan notices the beast staring quietly, no longer hostile. The red beast gently nudges Extreme Ice Dog, letting out a weak roar. Wengshuan understands the gesture and softly asks if the beast wants him to take care of its son. Bloodthirsty Dog, now on the brink of death, lets out a weak growl, unable to recover. Wengshuan gently takes Extreme Ice Dog's paw and reassures him with a firm "fine." Holding the pup tightly, Wengshuan vows to raise and protect him until he's strong enough to stand on his own. The beast lets out a faint bark, expressing its final gratitude before collapsing. Bloodthirsty Dog closes his eyes for the last time, passing away in peace. The next day, Wengshuan leaves the area with Extreme Ice Dog and Strawberry Cat by his side. As they approach a swirling portal, Wengshuan wonders how to form a contract with the two ghost beasts. Despite trying every known method, nothing has worked so far, leaving him puzzled. He decides to postpone the contract, noticing Extreme Ice Dog is too tired and needs rest. He checks the evolution requirements and finds the needed items aren't too difficult to obtain. As he reviews Strawberry Cat's evolution materials, he's stunned by the absurdly high requirements. Confused and skeptical, he suspects there must be a visual bug in the system. He decides the contract can wait, noticing Extreme Ice Dog is utterly exhausted as it drifts off to sleep. Nearby, Strawberry Cat stretches awake. Wengshuan overhears two workers discussing recent deaths in the secret territory's mines. One reluctant miner agrees to investigate the mine, steeling himself before entering. As he steps inside, a faint cry for help echoes through the darkness inside the mine. A mutated beast with glowing red eyes lunges at a terrified man, who screams for help. The beast lets out a feral roar before sinking its fangs into the man's shoulder. The attack is brutal, claws tear through flesh as the victim cries out in agony. The beast, now covered in blood, crouches low in the shadows. The supervisor smirks sinisterly, mocking his servant for being such a loyal dog and praising himself for sparing him earlier. Wang bows respectfully, declaring his loyalty to the master with deep reverence. The supervisor boasts about using the servant to kill more than 10 miners, which has helped his nightmare wolf reach the verge of another evolution. As a reward, he hands over a ghost beast orb, one authorized by their organization, praising the servant's performance with a chilling smile. Wang, overwhelmed with excitement, asks if the reward means he can become a beast tamer too. The supervisor smiles slyly and confirms, reassuring him that the organization rewards those who contribute. Grateful, Wang bows deeply, thanking him profusely for the honor and opportunity. Coldly, the supervisor orders him to dispose of the miners' bodies, hinting they'll capture more victims tomorrow. He obediently agrees. The next day at the forest mine, several people gather at the clearing. Wang notices Wengshuan approaching and seems curious. He greets the Wengshuan, trying to start a conversation with polite. Suddenly, Wengshuan's expression turns dark as he recognizes Wang Jiangku and angrily curses him, revealing past hostility. Wang sized him up and introduced himself as the leader of the mining team, warning that hard work awaited him. Wengshuan slowly turned his head. Suddenly, another person stepped forward, calling out to Wengshuan and drawing attention. A young girl, offended by Wengshuan's indifferent attitude, scolded him for being disrespectful toward leader Wang. But Wengshuan calmly asked who she was. The girl stood confidently with hands on her hips, introducing herself as Chen Lai. She announced that she'd be joining leader Wang in the mine today. Wengshuan narrowed his eyes, thought to himself that the girl must be crazy, and questioned why children were part of the mining crew. Chen Lai snapped back, furious at being mistaken for a child. Wengshuan mentioned that minors weren't even allowed in the mine, which only made her angrier as she yelled that she was an adult. Before the argument could escalate, Wang stepped in and called the team to order. He instructed everyone to prepare, announcing that they would now head into the mine. As the group prepared to enter the mine, Wengshuan wondered if it was her first time underground. Meanwhile, Chen Lai was determined to prove herself and clear her name by uncovering the truth behind past accidents in the mine. Wang stood before the swirling red portal and rallied the team, calling them to move out together. The team followed behind, stepping into the glowing portal one by one. Inside the mine, Wengshuan acknowledged that he had returned to this place once again. He watched Wang closely. He warned himself that if Wang turned out to be the kind of person he feared, there would be consequences. Wang held up a red crystal, explaining to the team that it was the fire cloud mineral they were here to extract. He instructed everyone to form teams of at least 2 members. He reminded them to stay alert and to immediately report any accidents during the operation. With that, he ordered the team to begin working. The miners quickly grouped up, calling out to their teammates. Chen Lai joined the others, and the team prepared to begin the mining task with a mix of excitement and responsibility. Chen Lai stood in silence, her face hidden behind her bangs. She seemed isolated, not approached by anyone as teams began to form around her. Wengshuan took notice, surprised to see her still unpartnered while others had already teamed up. He calmly offered to team up with her if she didn't have anyone else to go with. Chen Lai snapped back, blushing slightly. She insisted she didn't need a partner, claiming she had plenty of strength, and even accused Wengshuan of being the one who looked like a loner. Wengshuan turned away, ready to find someone else to team up with after Chen Lai's harsh response. He calmly said he would ask someone else instead. But just as he began to leave, Chen Lai grabbed his sleeve, stopping him. Trying to hide her real feelings, she claimed she was only helping him because he seemed pathetic. Still, she warned him not to make her look bad. Wengshuan glanced at her with mild surprise. He asked if it was Chen Lai's first time inside the mine. Flustered but trying to sound confident, she replied that she was physically strong and could handle it. Wengshuan clarified that wasn't his concern. His warning was about Wang Jiangguo. He told her to stay away from him. Chen Lai paused, surprised by the sudden warning. She asked if Wengshuan knew something about Wang. Wengshuan didn't respond directly. He turned away, saying it was just advice. Whether she followed it or not was up to her. Chen Lai reached for the glowing red mineral, her hand trembling from fatigue after hours of labor in the mine. She sighed heavily, realizing that mining was far more exhausting than she had imagined. Wengshuan noticed her condition and approached calmly, suggesting she take a break and rest for a while. Before she could respond, a sudden scream echoed through the mine, both startled by the loud noise coming from deeper inside. Chen Lai asked what was happening. Wengshuan sensed trouble and muttered that he knew something would go wrong. Without hesitation, both of them rushed toward the source of the noise. Upon arrival, they froze in shock. Before them stood a massive cluster of glowing red crystals. The other miners gathered around, staring in awe at the enormous mineral formation. The miners stared in awe at the massive crystal formation, wondering how much it could be worth. Their excitement exploded, some shouting they were rich. One of the men, thrilled with the discovery, claimed the largest share for himself, laughing as he imagined his sudden fortune. His teammate joked that he was now a millionaire, estimating the crystal's value at over 5 million. The group started talking about celebrations and rewards, but away from the group, Wang Zhongguo glared possessively at the crystals. He declared that the stones belonged to him alone. Wang's expression darkened. He thought to himself that if the beast tamer hadn't been absent gathering materials, the massive crystal would have belonged to him instead. Driven by ambition, Wang placed his hand on the crystal, contemplating murder. If he killed the man now and kept the mineral, he believed he could surpass even the beast tamer in power. Meanwhile, one of the miners approached Wang, proudly confirming the share distribution. 60% for him, 10% for the association, and the rest split among the team. Wang didn't respond. He remained silent, eyes narrowed with a murder glare. He smiled warmly and agreed with the miner's proposed profit split. But behind that smile, his hand quietly gripped a hidden dagger and stabbed unsuspecting miner's chest, blood splattering as betrayal struck swiftly. The man gasped in agony, his eyes wide in disbelief as his life slipped away from the sudden, brutal betrayal. Wang Zhongguo stood menacingly over the body. The surrounding miners froze in shock. Panic spread fast. One of the workers shouted that Wang had killed someone, while others looked around in fear. With a crazed look, Wang raised his weapon and declared the crystal belonged to him alone. Wangshuan warned Wang that if he was done acting like a human, he shouldn't be surprised by what was coming next. The miners surrounded Wang Zhongguo, shouting his name in alarm. Wang's wondering how the police had managed to infiltrate the team without him noticing. Chen Lei suddenly pointed a gun at Wang, commanding him to drop his weapon. The surrounding miners were shocked to realize there had been police among them all along. Wang narrowed his eyes. He hadn't expected the girl to be armed, and now his plan was spiraling out of control. Chen Lei ordered the others to help the injured and call for an ambulance. The miners quickly responded while she kept Wang Zhongguo at gunpoint. Wang clapped mockingly and admitted he hadn't expected her to be a cop. Chen Lei questioned how he thought he could keep his crimes hidden. Watching from behind, Wangshuan something didn't feel right. Wang Zhongguo was surrendering far too easily. Wang stood calmly with a smirk on his face, his hands raised. Wangshuan's eyes widened in panic as he saw danger approaching. He shouted at Chen Lili, warning her to move out of the way immediately. Before she could react, a powerful purple strike hit her directly, sending a shockwave through her body. Chen Lili winced in pain, her body battered and wounded from the sudden attack. The force knocked her off her feet, sending her tumbling backward through the air. Chen Lili tried to rise. Panic filled her eyes. She couldn't move at all. Hovering above her was a massive dark creature. Its glowing red eyes locked onto her as the system identified it, a venomous stage ghost beast. From above, Wang Zhongguo sneered. He revealed this had been his plan all along, mocking them for underestimating him. As Chen Lili struggled helplessly, Wang raised his gun with a wicked grin, vowing to make her disappear for daring to oppose him. Despite being injured, Chen Lili warned everyone to escape. Wang's eyes flared with fury. He roared for them to stop, raising his weapon as a deadly warning. He threatened the miners, saying if anyone dared to move, he'd kill them on the spot. Fear spread through the group as they froze in place. With a twisted smile, Wang made a sickening offer promising safety if someone among them would kill Chen Lili, the officer standing in his way. Chen Lili tried to rally the group, shouting that he only had 3 bullets left. She couldn't take them all down. He urged someone to escape and call for help. Wang Zhongguo laughed mockingly. He challenged them, asking who would be the first fool to take a bullet. He claimed they'd all choose survival over loyalty just like he once did. Before he could continue his speech, Wangshuan suddenly charged forward and landed a powerful punch to Wang's face. The impact sent Wang flying, his body thrown back by the force of Wangshuan's decisive attack. Wang Zhongguo's body skidded violently across the ground, crashing hard after Wangshuan's powerful strike. Wangshuan lowered his hood and stepped forward. He greeted Wang with a chilling familiarity. Long time no see. He then revealed his identity fully, asking if Wang still remembered his face. Wang's eyes widened in disbelief. He shouted in shock, realizing the man standing before him was Lai Wangshuan, someone he thought was long dead. Wangshuan calmly asked if Wang had already suspected the truth about his survival. Wang admitted he had. He revealed that he planned to burn Wangshuan's sister alive. But when no fire was reported the next day, he realized they must have survived. With a twisted grin, Wang recalled how he stabbed Wangchuan multiple times and let the miners beat him nearly to death, yet the boy still refused to die. Meanwhile, the other miners watched in fear. Their hope had crumbled. If even the police were helpless, what chance did they have? Wang Jiangguo repeated his cruel demand: kill the two standing against him, and the rest would be allowed to live. The miners froze in disbelief. One of them realized with horror that Wang was trying to make them his accomplices. Wang smirked coldly, claiming that once they all got their hands dirty, he'd have no reason to eliminate anyone. Facing this twisted logic and fearing for their lives, one miner gritted his teeth and admitted they had no choice left. Surrounded by miners holding weapons, Wangchuan stood calmly. He reminded them that their actions were their own choice, he wasn't forcing them. The miners stepped forward, clenching their tools, justifying their approach with the belief in survival of the fittest. Suddenly, Wangchuan noticed a shift. Someone had made a move, and it caught him off guard. Wang Jiangguo shouts at the miners, demanding if they all want to die. The miner steps forward, refusing to follow his orders. He says he won't kill a kid just to save himself and tells Wangchuan to get the girl out of there. Wangchuan is momentarily stunned by the miner's bravery. Enraged, Wang Jiangguo warns that if anyone chooses death, they'll only have themselves to blame. Wang furiously pulls the trigger, shouting for everyone to die. A sudden flash of blue light shoots across the scene, shocking the miners. One of the miners is struck directly by the beam and cries out in pain. The others stare wide-eyed, confused and terrified, asking what that strange light was. Wang stares in shock, recognizing the boy and realizing something terrifying. Wangchuan reveals himself with a blue ghost beast on his shoulder. He's a ghost beast tamer. The other miners cheer with relief, believing they're finally safe thanks to the boy's power. But Wang grits his teeth, refusing to accept the beast's strength and mocks it as unworthy. He summons his poisonous sting centipedes, shouting for them to kill everyone in sight. The massive centipede launches a deadly poison attack toward the miners. Wangchuan commands Extreme Ice Dog to block the poison. The beast roars and charges forward to intercept. Extreme Ice Dog unleashes a freezing breath attack, charging forward with a fierce growl. A massive ice blast collides directly with the incoming poison cloud. The freezing wave surges through the battlefield, heading straight for the centipede. The poisonous sting centipede is struck by the ice. The centipede beast is hit hard by the ice attack, but suddenly crashes into the ground. Everyone watches in shock as the creature vanishes underground. Someone yells for Lai Wangchuan to be careful. Wang laughs maniacally, pleased with the unexpected turn. He mocks Wangchuan, saying if he kneels and begs now, he might spare his life. Wangchuan coldly declares that no matter how much Wang Jiangguo begs, he would never spare his life. Enraged, Wang commands the poisonous centipede to kill Wangchuan on the spot. A glowing purple spike erupts from the ground right near Wangchuan's feet, catching him off guard. The monstrous centipede bursts out, charging toward Wangchuan with deadly intent. A powerful beam of pink energy launches with immense force toward the centipede. The attack strikes the poisonous centipede head-on, piercing through its body. Strawberry Cat follows up, slamming into the weakened centipede with a crushing impact. The centipede collapses to the ground, defeated and motionless. Wang is stunned at the sight of the Strawberry Cat beast. He can't believe a Strawberry Cat is real. Wangchuan stands firm with both his ghost beasts Extreme Ice Dog and Strawberry Cat blocking the path. He declares that escape is no longer an option. Wang panics and yells in disbelief, questioning how Wangchuan could possibly have two ghost beasts under his control. Wang picks up a weapon and charges at Wangchuan, shouting with resolve, ready to end it. Just as Wangchuan prepares to strike, Chen Lai jumps onto him, pleading for him to stop. Tears in her eyes, she begs him not to kill anyone, promising to ensure Wang is brought to justice properly. They fall together to the ground. She gasps, pinned beneath him, struggling to breathe. The Strawberry Cat watches the scene unfold with amusement. The miners rejoice, relieved that the danger has finally passed, even though they regret losing the minerals. Meanwhile, Wang is handcuffed, signaling the end of his crimes. Chen Lai tells Wang it's time to face justice, and orders him to come to the station. She then turns to Wangchuan, demanding answers about what he's really up to. Chen Lai quickly urges everyone to evacuate the area immediately. Suddenly, the ground shakes violently beneath her. Wangchuan realizes the earlier battle damaged the mine's structure. It could collapse any second and warns everyone to run. The miners panic and flee as rocks begin falling from above. The entire mine is on the verge of collapse. As the mine collapses, miners flee in panic, dodging falling rocks while chaos erupts around them. Chen Li struggles to move, her body still weak and unable to run, despite her willpower. She looks up in horror as a massive boulder plummets directly toward her from above. Just in time, Wangchuan dives in and shields her, narrowly saving her from being crushed. Wangchuan commands Strawberry Cat and Extreme Ice Dog to escort Chen Lili out, while he stays behind to handle Wang Zhongguo. He urges Chen Lili to leave quickly, promising to take care of things himself. She hesitates, then agrees with concern. As Wangchuan turns around, a loud crack above signals danger. Rocks begin to fall directly toward him. With quick reflexes, Wangchuan leaps back just as a massive boulder crashes down where he stood. From the outside, Chen Lili yells to check on Wangchuan. He responds firmly, urging her to escape while he finds another way out. Inside the collapsing mine, Wangchuan stands calm while Wang chuckles ominously, his hands still cuffed. Wang mocks Wangchuan, declaring they'll both die together in the collapse, claiming it's Wangchuan's fate for opposing him. Wangchuan steps forward with a cold glare, vowing with finality that he'll never forgive Wang Zhongguo. He clenches his fist and steps forward, stating he didn't spare Wang Zhongguo out of mercy, but because there were witnesses. Now, he's made sure no one will see. Wang Zhongguo looks alarmed, confused by Wangchuan's words. Wangchuan raises the gun and smirks coldly. He says it plainly. He stayed behind to kill him. He calls Zhongguo an idiot. He accuses Wang of orchestrating the frequent mining accidents, exposing him without hesitation. He sternly demands to know why Zhongguo did it. Panicked, he shouts that he was forced, he had to help them kill or else they'd expose his past murders. Wangchuan narrows his eyes, asking if he refers to the beast tamer from that day, connecting the events. Terrified, Wang begs for his life, offering to help trap the other beast tamer. But Wangchuan coldly raises his gun and says it's not necessary. Zhongguo's fate is already sealed. With no hesitation, Wangchuan fires multiple rounds at the ceiling above Wang. A massive boulder begins to fall as Wang looks up in shock. Wang screaming for help as the massive boulder falls toward him. The rock crashes down with a thunderous impact, burying him completely. Wangchuan walks over to the wreckage, questioning if people only beg for help when it's their own lives at stake. Without remorse, he calls Wang trash and turns away, ending it coldly. A mysterious purple mist starts rising from Wang's crushed body as lie Wangchuan unfazed by this. The mist is flee from the cave. Outside the cave, the survivors alongside Strawberry Cat and Ice Dog frantically dig at the collapsed entrance. Chen Lili shouts for everyone to dig faster, desperate to save Wangchuan and Wang, still trapped inside. The Strawberry Cat and Ice Dog are still trying to dig. Suddenly, the cat notices a strange energy emerging from inside. A surge of dark purple energy bursts from the collapsed entrance, alarming the Strawberry Cat. Trying to resist the energy, the Strawberry Cat screams as it gets engulfed in a purple aura. The cat falls to the ground in pain, unable to handle the overwhelming power trying to consume it. One of the workers notices that the Strawberry Cat has fainted. He tells the others to bring it over for fresh air. They gently carry the unconscious Strawberry Cat to a safe spot near the cliff. Promising the cat they'll rescue its owner, the workers look determined as they return to help. In the hospital building under the night sky, Wangchuan suddenly jolts upright in bed, gasping in confusion. Looking around the dimly lit room, he realizes he's in a hospital. Next to him, the Extreme Ice Dog and Strawberry Cat, his loyal pets, are fast asleep at the edge of the bed. Staring at them, Wangchuan's expression softens. He reflects quietly, knowing if it weren't for these two, he would have died in that mine with Wang Zhongguo. Their bravery saved his life. A voice echoes from the doorway, asking if he's awake. A woman walks into the room confidently. Wangchuan asks if she's the doctor. She introduces herself calmly. She's not just any doctor, but the vice president of the Tanyan Beast Tamers Association, named Beishi. Wangchuan is shocked to hear her title. He repeats it in disbelief, and she confirms with a composed nod, standing with authority. He looks at Beishi cautiously and asks if she's here for a specific reason. She nods and glances toward the sleeping strawberry cat and extreme ice dog, explaining that her visit concerns the two ghost beasts beside him. She reveals that Wangshuan isn't registered with the Beast Tamers Association and doesn't have a license. By law, the two beasts must be confiscated. Panic sets in as he thinks about losing his pets. He knows he can't afford to be without them, they're his only protection. Beishi calmly tells Wangshuan not to panic. She has a proposal for him instead of taking his beasts immediately. She offers him a chance to officially become a beast tamer. If he passes the exam, he'll be allowed to keep his pets. He asks what happens if he fails. She explains that he can keep trying, he just needs to succeed eventually. There's no limit on attempts. Wangshuan looks at her seriously and asks why she's giving him such an opportunity. She explains that during the tunnel collapse, the workers saw everything. Wangshuan's beasts worked desperately to clear the blocked path. He listens closely, waiting for her to finish. She glances at the sleeping pets and says she believes they're not ordinary beasts. Beishi explains that all wild beasts are naturally hostile toward humans. Only through a tamer's contract can they cooperate and form a bond. She adds that without a contract, ghost beasts have no reason to assist humans, especially not during something as dangerous as a collapse. Her curiosity grows as she questions how Wangshuan managed to gain the loyalty of two ghost beasts without any contract. Their decision to save him is highly unusual. Wangshuan, realizing her point, admits he can't refuse her offer. Beishi smiles slightly, acknowledging his wit and potential. She believes he might truly become a capable beast tamer. He lowers his head and mutters bitterly that calling himself a lab rat would probably be more accurate than a candidate. Beishi crosses her arms and replies coolly, telling him to think whatever he wants, it doesn't change the situation. He accepts her challenge and asks when the exam will take place. She walks to the window and says to contact her once he's fully recovered. Just as she's about to leave, Wangshuan remembers something and quickly asks if the miners, those trapped with him, are safe. She smirks and tells Wangshuan he'll find out soon, but warns him it might get a bit noisy. Suddenly, the door bursts open and Chen Lai rushes in, loudly shouting Wangshuan's name with excitement. Chen Lai bombards him with questions, asking if he's okay, while a nurse behind her tries to calm her down and reminds her not to yell in the hospital. Wangshuan stares blankly. He realizes Beishi's warning about noise was clearly referring to this unexpected. Wangshuan stares out the window, watching Vice President Beishi calmly fly off on a griffin under the moonlight. Suddenly, Chen Lai yells at him, frustrated that he's ignoring her. She shakes him and demands to know what's going on with him. He thinks to himself that pretending to faint again might be the only way to survive this chaos. Beishi enters the office and respectfully greets the man standing by the window, addressing him as President. She hands over a document, explaining it's the list of candidates for the upcoming Beast Tamer qualification exam. The president glances at the list with a slight smile and asks if this is the particularly talented kid she mentioned before. She nods and confirms she already informed Wangshuan about the exam schedule yesterday. The president chuckles and tells Beishi to loosen up since no one else is around, but she sternly refuses, reminding him to stay professional during work hours. He flips through the candidate list and remarks with growing interest that he should look forward to the exam. As he lands on a page with a photo of a girl in a black cap, he wonders aloud which of the two candidates is the true genius. Just then, his phone starts buzzing. He receives a call from the laboratory and clicks his tongue in frustration as he sees the caller ID. He answers the phone, asking if there's any update on the missing test subject. Without waiting, he ends the call, telling them not to call again unless there's actual news. He firmly states that he'll handle it himself. Beishi offers her help in locating the escaped experiment, but the president quickly shuts her down, saying it's not necessary. The president quietly mutters that dangerous tasks like these are better left to an old, worn-out man like him. Outside the examination center, a crowd gathers. Everyone's buzzing with nerves in hopes of passing the Beast Tamer qualification exam. Wangshuan stands with his pets, calmly observing the building. He reflects that this is the moment the official test for his tamer license. Just as he steadies himself, someone calls out his name loudly from behind. Wangshuan turns to look at her. He turns and sees his old friends, Gao and Liu, excitedly rushing over. They throw their arms around him, laughing and joking. They remind him how the three of them once dreamed of becoming beast tamers together, and they thought he gave up on it. Wangchuan laughs nervously and explains that he needed money urgently back then, so he took up work in a mine without telling anyone. One of them frowns slightly, saying Wangchuan's habit of not troubling others is admirable, but sometimes it makes them feel like outsiders. Wangchuan replies it wasn't intentional. Things were just complicated at the time. One of his friends notices his two pets and is shocked. He asks if Wangchuan is already a certified beastmaster. He hesitates and awkwardly says it's complicated. He sort of is, and sort of isn't. His friend presses him, pointing out that the two beasts have been following him closely all along, acting like his contracted partners. Wangchuan admits it's true, but reveals a strange issue. Despite their bond, the strawberry cat can't form a phantom beast contract with him, and the system still marks it as unsigned. His friends are surprised by the issue with the contract and joke that maybe he got scammed with cheap or faulty materials. Wangchuan looks embarrassed as he checks his bank balance, only 86 yuan left. He admits it might actually be true. Just then, an announcement is made. The Beast Tamer qualification exam is about to begin, and all candidates are asked to enter the hall. Wangchuan takes a deep breath and rallies himself. His friends cheer him on, promising they'll be by his side to help fulfill the dream they all once shared. An instructor steps onto the stage and welcomes everyone to the Beast Tamer qualification exam. She explains that the exam consists of 3 separate tests. The first test is a written assessment of beast knowledge. Examinees will be shown various phantom beasts and must describe them in detail. Accuracy and depth determine their score. The second test is contract signing. Candidates must either bring their own beast or purchase one on-site to attempt a phantom beast contract. A successful bond means a pass. The final test is combat. Candidates must command their contracted beasts in battle, and securing 3 victories is required to qualify. The instructor announces that those who pass all 3 tests will receive the title of Junior Beast Tamer and gain access to certain privileges. She claps her hands to signal the start of the exam, and the room shifts as a magical platform reveals the test setup. Mystic energy floods the space as 3 phantom beasts are projected before the candidates, glowing with a mysterious aura. The instructor instructs everyone to begin the first test, writing detailed information about the 3 phantom beasts shown. Accuracy and knowledge will be key. The classroom is filled with panic as candidates struggle with the difficulty of this year's exam. Many complain it's way harder than last year's, and some even declare they've lost all hope. Meanwhile, Wangchuan calmly reviews the system screen, reading the beast profiles. For him, it feels like an open book test. He's well prepared. He glances around and wonders how his old friends Gao and Liu are holding up, assuming they'll manage just fine. But to his surprise, both of them have already mentally checked out, staring blankly at their papers, completely defeated. Seeing his friends struggling, Wangchuan lowers his voice and tells Gao and Liu to copy his answers discreetly. They light up instantly, praising him as expected of their brilliant brother. They're full of admiration and relief. 2 hours pass. A clock ticks toward the announcement of results. The instructor enters and informs the class that the results for the first test are now posted. She begins reading the names of those who passed. Only they can continue to the next stages. Everyone else must wait until next year for another chance. Gao and Liu excitedly cheer for Wangchuan, calling him practically invincible and even jokingly declaring him their godfather for helping them pass. However, as more names are announced, confusion sets in. Wangchuan's name still hasn't been called, and the 2 friends are visibly puzzled. Wangchuan starts questioning if there was an issue with the grading system, since both Gao and Liu passed using his answers. He narrows his eyes and asks directly, did they copy everything he wrote exactly? The 2 freeze, caught off guard by the realization. Gao and Liu explain they didn't copy Wangchuan's answers word for word. They altered a few parts to avoid suspicion and proudly say they're still sharp with tricks like these. Wangchuan pauses, thinking hard. Could it be that the edits his friends made were actually the correct parts? Suddenly, the examiner announces that 2 candidates achieved full marks in the exam, drawing everyone's attention. Wangchuan's name is called out. The room erupts in cheers as his friends excitedly shout his title, Godfather, celebrating his flawless performance. As the second top scorer is announced, Khalsa, everyone in the cafeteria buzzes with excitement. whispering about Wengshuan's perfect score and how it was his first attempt. Wengshuan's presence draws attention from all sides. Liu and Gao jokingly tease that he's become the star of the day. They continue hyping him up, calling him a genius and celebrating his success as if he were family. Wengshuan brushes off the praise, saying it was just luck. He quietly corrects them in his mind, wasn't he their godfather just moments ago? His friends pat him on the back, praising his results and telling him that even luck counts as a skill. He stays modest, though they think he's being too humble. As he turns around, Wengshuan hears a girl's voice asking if he's Lai Wengshuan. He's caught off guard by the sudden approach. The girl confidently introduces herself as Khalsa, Wengshuan realizing she's the other student who also got a perfect score. He stares at her, curious, what's the matter with her? She, staring coldly at Wengshuan, reminds him that although they both scored perfectly, her 100 was the maximum possible while his was the best he could get. Liu erupts in anger, defending Wengshuan and accusing Khalsa of looking down on them, ready to start a fight. Khalsa tells them to get lost and warns that she'll report them if they keep causing trouble. Liu backs off reluctantly, saying they'll leave. Wengshuan notices a system warning Khalsa's phantom beast, the ice python, is in an abnormal state with signs of mind corruption. Calmly, he tells her to recheck it before forming a contract. He accuses him of trying to rattle her and insists she knows her beast better than anyone. Still fuming, Khalsa calls him out for using underhanded tactics and warns him not to interfere again. She storms off, threatening to crush him in the upcoming dual exam, while Wengshuan quietly watches her go. Khalsa returns to her room and lets out a sigh of relief. Despite her bold front, she finally allows herself to relax. Feeling overwhelmed, she buries her face in her hands, giving herself a pep talk, reminding herself she must stay on top and not lose to anyone, especially not Wengshuan. She declaring that she can only be number one. With determination, she looks at her phantom beast and encourages it warmly, calling it Jennifer and promising to do their best together that afternoon. The examiner announces Zhang San's successful contract signing with his Popo rat, marking a smooth progression in the exam. Zhang San celebrates with joy, proudly hugging his beast and declaring that he's on his way to becoming a beast tamer. Meanwhile, Wengshuan and his friends casually chat. They agree the second test is a breeze after all. No one would bring a beast that doesn't obey them. He nervously looks at Strawberry Cat, warning him not to mess things up in front of everyone. Strawberry Cat remains silent, showing a bored expression. The examiner calls out, Lai Wengshuan his turn for the contract exam. His friends cheer loudly from the sidelines, hyping him up as Big Brother, eager to see him impress the crowd. Wengshuan walks beside the examiner, watching Strawberry Cat confidently take the lead toward the testing ground. He stops and focuses, putting all his trust in the cat. With determination in his eyes, Wengshuan signals the start. Suddenly, Strawberry Cat emits a powerful surge of energy. The cat dashes ahead with intense energy, letting out a fierce cry as it launches into battle. In a sudden burst of power, the cat strikes a massive stone, sending a shockwave through the area and drawing everyone's attention. His friends are stunned by what they see, struggling to process the unexpected strength on display. Wengshuan lowers his gaze, already anticipating the outcome. The crowd mocks Wengshuan's performance, joking that he might have maxed out his luck stat just to fail this badly. They laugh, calling it a historic blunder in the Beast Tamer exam. Despite being offered the option to switch phantom beasts, Wengshuan refuses. He insists on continuing with the Strawberry Cat. He knows the Frost Hound would be easier, but with the top-tier contract support available right now, this is the best chance he'll ever get to bond with the cat. Resolute, Wengshuan focuses inward. No matter the difficulty, he's determined to form a contract with the Strawberry Cat today. The Strawberry Cat fiercely slams the ground, but the contract attempt fails again. The system announces the failure, and Wengshuan tries to push through. In frustration, the cat leaps at Wengshuan's face, clearly rejecting the contract. The system repeats the failure message multiple times. Onlookers laugh at Wengshuan's repeated failures. They find it hilarious that even a Strawberry Cat refuses to bond with him, calling it fitting for someone with such outrageous luck. Humiliated, Wengshuan collapses on all fours, panting heavily while the cat silently watches. Khalsa mocks Wengshuan, claiming his perfect score was just luck. As Wangxuan slumps in defeat, she confidently steps forward and demands to show what real talent looks like. She formally requests to begin her contract, standing tall before the instructor. With a nod of approval, the teacher authorizes Kelsa to proceed with the contract ritual. A brilliant golden magic circle lights up beneath Kelsa and her python as the contract ritual starts. Kelsa calmly channels her energy as blue lightning surrounds her. Suddenly, the python's glow shifts to red as it becomes corrupted, letting out a fierce hiss that startles everyone. Caught off guard, Kelsa is stunned by her beast's unexpected transformation. The ritual has taken a dark turn. A wave of dark energy bursts out as Kelsa recoils in shock. She realizes something has gone horribly wrong. This isn't the beast she thought she controlled. A giant python bursts forward with a violent hiss, its fangs bared and body twisting with deadly force. Wangxuan and the others are thrown back by the shockwave. Their bodies are slashed by streaks of red energy as they shield themselves. Confusion spreads among the group as they struggle to understand what's happening. The instructor stands frozen in place, still holding documents in her hands. Suddenly, the python's tail comes crashing down toward her. Just before the impact, Wangxuan lunges in and pulls instructor to the ground, shielding her with his body. The floor explodes where they stood, debris scattering as he protects her from the python's crushing force. As the ground shakes violently, Wangxuan holds instructor tightly, shielding her from the storm of debris. He grits his teeth in frustration, blaming Kelsa for not inspecting the danger earlier. Panic spreads across the courtyard. One man suspects the phantom beast has lost control, while others scream for help and urge everyone to escape. Chaos breaks out among the crowd. Elsewhere, Kelsa rushes toward Phantom. He quickly stops Kelsa from approaching the serpent, warning her that her phantom beast is unstable and dangerous in its current state. She tries to resist his hold. Kelsa insists that Bingbing, her phantom beast, would never harm anyone. She forcefully shakes free, refusing to believe it's lost control. Running toward the snake, Kelsa calls out to Bingbing, trying to calm it with her presence. But the serpent's red eyes glow with hostility. Kelsa steps forward cautiously, arms open, trying to soothe the enraged serpent. She calls out gently, asking Bingbing to calm down and come with her. Kelsa smiles, believing her voice has reached it, and that Bingbing still remembers her. But in the next instant, the serpent lashes out violently. Its tail strikes her with crushing force, catching her completely off guard. Kelsa is hurled through the air, pain etched across her face as she crashes hard to the ground. She collapses to the ground, weakened from the previous blow. The serpent towers above her. Before she can move, Bingbing lunges at her. Kelsa lies stunned, helpless as the beast she once trusted now attacks her without hesitation. Kelsa's heart sinks. She questions how Bingbing could turn on her and wonders if this is the end. A voice calls out to her someone is trying to reach her. A memory resurfaces in Kelsa's mind. Her parents once praised her brother, telling her to learn from him. He stood proudly beside them, always the center of attention. Kelsa, feeling overshadowed, resisted their expectations. Deep down, she didn't want to be like him. She wanted to forge her own path and prove her worth in her own way. Frustrated by constant comparisons, she vowed to surpass her brother. While others admired his phantom beast control, Kelsa believed she could become stronger and tame her own beast too. Back then, she trained tirelessly with Bingbing, demanding more speed and strength from the python. She wasn't going to be left behind. Young Kelsa, relentless in her training, pushed Bingbing to its limits. She yelled at the python to keep moving, refusing to let it rest. Driven by frustration and the need to prove herself, she demanded more speed, faster, always faster. To her, improvement meant pushing past every limit, no matter the cost. Now, as the present-day chaos unfolds, regret floods her heart. She reflects on how she treated her brother and Bingbing, realizing the pain she caused in her pursuit of strength. But it's too late. Bingbing, corrupted by rage, strikes again with deadly intent. Strawberry Cat suddenly charges in, fiercely blocking the serpent's attack. Wangxuan appears, standing beside Kelsa. He urges her to escape quickly. Kelsa calls out his name in disbelief, shocked that he's still there. The serpent recoils for another strike, its movements faster and more violent. Wangxuan commands Strawberry Cat to dodge beneath the incoming attack. The cat swiftly responds, dashing forward with sharp focus. As the serpent's tail crashes down, Strawberry Cat narrowly evades the impact, landing with a fierce growl. Kelsa watches in disbelief. She wonders how the cat is obeying Wangxuan despite not being bound by a contract. Seeing an opening, Wangxuan calls for an attack. Strawberry Cat charges in and strikes the serpent's weak point with full force, landing a powerful blow. Strawberry Cat continues clashing with the serpent, dodging and striking with fierce precision. From a distance, Professor Juncha watches closely as the pink pet fends off the attack. Reinforcements arrive, reporting to Professor Juncha. They received the emergency signal and immediately came to assist. As the backup team moves in, one of them shouts to Wangxuan, thanking him for holding the enemy back. The instructors issue an urgent command to eliminate the ice pattern python before it causes more damage. One reassures Keisha they'll get her a new phantom beast afterward. But Keisha cries out, begging them not to kill Bingbing. She insists there must be a reason for its behavior and refuses to accept that it's beyond saving. The instructor harshly responds, claiming that a phantom beast in a rage state is impossible to control. He dismisses her plea as hopeless. Wangxuan suddenly steps forward, determined. He challenges them boldly if they can't save Bingbing, then they should step aside and let him try. Wangxuan speaks out passionately, calling out the others for treating Bingbing like a tool instead of a living being. He sees the beast's rage as a cry of suffering, not madness. Turning to Kelsa, he assures her that he'll do everything he can to stop the ice pattern python without harming it. The instructors mock him, pointing out he hasn't even formed a contract yet. But Wangxuan counters with conviction, calling on Strawberry Cat to join him because they both want to save Bingbing. Wangxuan then offers a contract, urging Strawberry Cat to respond to his heart. The cat freezes, wide-eyed, as if something deep inside has been awakened. Strawberry Cat is engulfed in radiant energy as Wangxuan's contract offer takes hold. Its body glows, and a powerful force begins to surge from within. With a thunderous roar, the cat unleashes a burst of power. Its aura intensifies, responding to Wangxuan's heartfelt plea. The instructors watch in disbelief. They're stunned that Wangxuan, without prior experience, successfully formed a contract under such dire circumstances. As the dust clears, Strawberry Cat emerges transformed more fierce and determined than ever. Strawberry Cat lunges forward, meeting the serpent head-on. The blow lands with explosive force. The serpent recoils, stunned by the newly awakened strength of its opponent. Later, in a formal office, the higher-ups begin reviewing the incident. Beishi demands to know what exactly happened during the chaos. The instructor reports that Kelsa's phantom beast went berserk during the contract signing. However, it was Wangxuan, an uncontracted candidate, who successfully commanded his pet and defeated the raging ice pattern python. Beishi inquires about Kelsa's condition. She's assured that Kelsa is safe and recovering from the incident. Still, Beishi is troubled. She questions why Kelsa's phantom beast suddenly went berserk, wondering if it's somehow connected to the escaped beast reported earlier. The instructor responds affirmatively, then excuses himself, noting that Beishi wishes to speak to Wangxuan privately. Others watching the exchange realize how special Wangxuan has become. The instructor silently regrets underestimating Wangxuan. If he had known the boy's potential earlier, he wouldn't have dared to offend him. Beishi commends Wangxuan, saying he surprises her every time. She acknowledges that giving him just a junior tamer's certificate would be an understatement of his abilities. Wangxuan laughs it off modestly, calling it luck. But Beishi quickly corrects him, telling him not to be needlessly humble. She explains that staying calm and making the right decisions under sudden pressure isn't something that comes from mere luck. It's a sign of true capability. Handing him an advanced qualification certificate, she states it's the highest rank she's authorized to grant. If he wishes to go beyond that, he'll need to take the exam elsewhere. Wangxuan listens intently as Beishi shares her thoughts. She tells him that with his current abilities, he'll soon be ready to attempt the Senior Beast Tamer exam. Overwhelmed with excitement, Wangxuan cheers aloud, raising his new certificate in celebration. Bai watches calmly, then scolds him for repeatedly saying, "Oh." She telling him there's no time to rest. As an official beast tamer, he now has a crucial mission to carry out. In the exterior of a modern building, a group of men armed with bats and pipes begin smashing everything in sight. Their leader shouts orders to leave no clues behind. He's desperate to cover up whatever crime they're involved in. Privately, he curses the fact that Kelsa's phantom beast survived. He regrets not using a stronger dose of poison to ensure its death. Now rattled, he questions the identity of Strawberry Cat's tamer. Anyone capable of subduing a berserk ice pattern python must be a major threat, one he wouldn't have dared to cross had he known. One of the men reports to his boss that all evidence has been completely destroyed. The group begins to retreat toward the exit, believing the job is done. But their escape is suddenly interrupted by a voice. A shadowy figure steps into their path, calmly blocking the way. He tells them not to leave so soon. The men are stunned and on edge. One demands to know who he is, while another shouts in frustration. One of the thugs panics and pulls out a gun, yelling to take out the intruder and leave no survivors. Bullets hit the man's chest, but he doesn't fall. The attackers are shocked. They question how the bullets didn't stop him, wondering if he's even human. One of them, furious, swings a metal bat, accusing the man of faking it with a bulletproof vest. As the attacker charges in with the bat, he grabs the weapon mid-swing, halting it with a single hand. With a deep voice, he leans in and says, "Wrong answer." His pet give a powerful punch on to the attacker face. One of the thugs is paralyzed with fear, realizing the creature is a rare and terrifying shadow-type phantom beast. All the men drop to their knees, begging for mercy. They promise to follow any command, fully submitting under pressure. But the man demands to know who gave them their orders. The thug trembles, hesitating, then confesses that revealing the truth would surely get him killed. This is none other than President. He calmly adjusts his gloves and tells the thug he won't force him to talk after all. He'll die either way. The thug, relieved, thanks him nervously. But the President's eyes narrow with a chilling smile. He reveals he's quite skilled at getting answers from the dead, catching the thug completely off guard. The beast charges forward. He is about to unleash its devastating strike interrogation through sheer force. As the shadow beast looms closer, the thugs panic. One of them begs President to stop, screaming that he'll talk, but it's already too late. The beast strikes with a wave of dark energy. The men scream in terror as they're engulfed by the shadows. Silence follows. President stands tall among their fallen bodies, then places his hand on the head of the last conscious thug, channeling a mysterious power. He calmly mutters he's going to dig into what's left of the thug's memory. After reading the thug's memories, meanwhile, a beast rampages as chaos unfolds inside the exam facility. A man smirks while giving shady instructions to stir up more trouble during the beast tamer test, wanting the situation to spiral further. Later, Wengxuan discusses the mission details with Vice President Beishi. She assures him this task suits his new intermediate-level rank and promises to reveal secrets only qualified tamers can know. She explains how times have changed. People once pursued wealth, but now everyone dreams of becoming a beast tamer. She asks Wengxuan if he understands why. Wengxuan eagerly responds, saying beast tamers have status and powerful beasts, making them incredibly cool. Beishi corrects him sternly. The true reason is that intermediate beast tamers operate beyond the restrictions of the old world. They live by new rules. She illustrates her point. No matter how strong a human is, they can't survive a bullet. Power alone isn't enough, it's about understanding how the world works now. Wengxuan is shocked and questions if intermediate beast tamers can actually withstand bullets. Beishi calmly confirms that, through special methods, they can avoid fatal damage. She explains that intermediate-level tamers can form a soul link, a rare ability where the tamer's soul bonds with their phantom beasts. When this technique is active, any injury the tamer suffers is transferred to the phantom beast instead of their own body. As long as either the beast or tamer survives, the other won't die, no matter how severe the damage. It's a powerful bond that redefines survival itself. In a peaceful outdoor plaza where people are relaxing, and beast tamers sit alongside their beasts, enjoying coffee under the sun. Two girls chat excitedly, amazed that someone so young has already become a beast tamer. A boy sitting alone overhears their comments. He looks down and lets out a faint, bitter laugh. He suddenly reaches out to stop someone, asking with concern if his phantom beast is all right. A man politely delivers the boy's phantom beast, bowing with respect as the creature stands beside him calmly. The client smirks, mocking the boy by calling it a dog-walking job and saying he'll hire him again next time. The boy bows and thanks him for the patronage. The two girls from earlier sneer in disappointment. realizing he's just a college student walking beasts for others. They feel embarrassed for admiring him. The boy glares back with a smirk, thinking to himself that even if it's just dog walking, getting 2 girls to notice him from one job already makes it worth it. 2 students gossip from afar, assuming the newcomer must be a dog walker too. They dismiss the idea of someone that young being a real beast tamer. Wangshuan calmly walks through the plaza with Strawberry Cat at his side. The students glares at him with disdain, convinced the boy couldn't possibly be a real beast tamer. Unbothered, Wangshuan finds a seat and tells Strawberry Cat to sit with him as they wait. The student confidently approaches Wangshuan, assuming he's also a dog walker. He casually asks how much he earns per job. Wangshuan looks confused and responds bluntly, pointing out that his pet is a cat, not a dog. Strawberry Cat adds a proud meow. The student laughs, assuming the boy is a clueless rookie. He explains that people who temporarily care for phantom beasts are called dog walkers. Uninterested, Wangshuan calmly brushes him off, saying he'll reach out if needed, making it clear he's not part of their system. The student mocks Wangshuan, claiming he's too young to be a real beast tamer and dismisses his skills as tricks he already knows. Suddenly, a sleek white car pulls up next to them. Vice President Beishi rolls down the window, apologizing for being late and casually addressing Wangshuan, revealing her familiarity with him. She playfully calls him an intermediate beastmaster, shocking the others. Wangshuan humbly asks her to stop teasing him. Beishi hands Wangshuan the mission details she mentioned earlier. He accepts the file eagerly, ready to read it later. She steps on the gas and tells him to hold tight as the car speeds off instantly, leaving everyone stunned by the sudden burst. The boy watches them drive away in silence. Meanwhile, the girls and the boy finally realize the truth: Wangshuan is an actual intermediate beast tamer. The boy is left sweating, embarrassed that he almost insulted someone far above his level. They arrives at a tall office building alongside Beishi. She explains that she brought him personally to avoid trouble on his first visit. Wangshuan is surprised by her concern, but she clarifies that the training center might give him a hard time despite being under the Beast Tamer Association. She recounts that 3 years ago, the association appointed a senior beastmaster as director to improve training standards. However, that decision backfired. This senior beastmaster is known for his terrible temper, creating tension for anyone new who walks in. As they ride the elevator, she explains the senior beastmaster's influence. If he's pleased, he willingly teaches anyone, regardless of rank. But if he's in a bad mood, even the most talented tamers are kicked out. Wangshuan is surprised by such an unstable system. She reveals their city has had the lowest beastmaster pass rate every year since that man took charge, causing major trouble for the association's funding. To improve results, they've started escorting qualified beastmasters directly. When they arrive, Kelsa greets Beishi respectfully. Wangshuan is surprised to see Kelsa from the exam, now healthy and also admitted. She greets him, acknowledging his help. He smiles and casually compliments her fast recovery, calling out her phantom beast by name Jennifer. Suddenly, she hugs her snake tightly and warns that Wangshuan is their enemy. Despite being saved by him, she declares she'll surpass him one day. Wangshuan, confused but amused, simply mutters, I see. Beishi tells the group not to waste time and insists they head straight to Master Pan. Upon seeing Wangshuan, Master Pan scoffs at his intermediate beast tamer title, accusing him of earning it through backdoor connections. Wangshuan is visibly confused and asks Master Pan what he means by that remark. Master Pan angrily declares that Wangshuan must have used connections, expressing disdain for how common it's become for people to bypass merit. He challenges Wangshuan to prove he truly has the ability and didn't cheat his way in. Beishi steps in, stating that Wangshuan handled a major crisis during the recent Beast Tamer exam. Pan brushes it off, saying the video could have been faked and subduing a beast is the most basic skill expected from a tamer. He turns to both Wangshuan and Kelsa, declaring they must pass a test to prove they didn't get in through connections. He then asks boldly if they dare to accept it. She angrily defends herself and Wangshuan, questioning why they're being accused of cheating when they topped the official exam. Pan arrogantly responds that he's the director of the Beast Tamer Training Institute. If he denies them, they'll never get to join real missions. Wangshuan cuts in calmly, saying he understands the situation and doesn't want to argue. With determination in his eyes, Wangshuan demands the director stop wasting time and tell them what they need to do. The director smirks and declares the test is starting. He activates the challenge Wangshuan and the girl must face. A loud slam follows as a cage opens, the director announcing they'll face something worthy. A fierce crimson beast with glowing eyes appear.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.